You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and White Sports fans, we're going to be talking about Roger Goodell here in this video, the commissioner of the National Football League. Now, he actually appeared before Congress because, as you guys know, Congress, or you may not even know, Congress is actually having some hearings on the Washington Redskins, now known as the Commanders, and the complaints that have been levied against the franchise led by Daniel Snyder for workplace harassment. Well, while Roger Goodell was actually being questioned, and it was actually by Jim Jordan, it kind of teetered off to some other things about free speech. Now, folks, I do believe that free speech is definitely under attack. You guys saw what the Washington Redskins did to Jack Del Rio. They fined him $100,000 for giving his opinion, asking a question about January 6th. Well, check this out on Mediaite. Jim Jordan battles NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell over Del Rio January 6th comments, fine Dave Portnoy, ban intense exchange. Now, everybody knows about the Jack Del Rio situation right there. But the Dave Portnoy thing, that kind of goes back a few years. So let's do a little bit of refreshing here on that before we actually play the clip here. It says, why was Dave Portnoy banned from the NFL games? Now, he is a big New England Patriots fan, and this had all to do with Deflategate. Now, this is from December of 2020. Dave Portnoy, the founder of Barstool Sports, has caused issues for the NFL with a protest in 2015. Barstool Sports had been banned by NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. The ban consists of all events that the NFL holds, whether it be regular season, playoffs, draft, or Super Bowl events. And why Roger Goodell banned Barstool Sports and Dave Portnoy from NFL events? Barstool Sports felt that the NFL did not handle the Deflategate scandal properly. This would have caused Dave Portnoy and three other Barstool Sports employees to host a protest. The protest held by Portnoy and employees would take place outside of the NFL's headquarters. Portnoy would go even further with his feelings on how Goodell and the NFL handled the situation by making towels that had Goodell's face on them. These towels would have Roger Goodell's face with a clown nose on them. Dave Portnoy would have 70,000 towels made with this image on them. This would not be the last time that Barstool Sports and the NFL have a run. Dave Portnoy and Eric Solenberger would be escorted out of one of the biggest media days in the NFL. The two Barstool Sports employees even disguised themselves to pass through security at the 2018 Super Bowl Media Day. And you can see this tweet also here. NFL gets out of Roger Goodell, sit down with Barstool's Dave Portnoy, who then calls Commish a coward. So that was pretty much why Dave Portnoy was actually banned from the NFL. Even though I did a video on this, guys, the NFL covered up evidence that would have exonerated Tom Brady from that 4-game suspension. Folks, there was no conspiracy with Tom Brady to actually deflate footballs. It was just really, really cold. He likes his footballs at the lower end of regulation, and the cold weather caused the balls to deflate. That was it. But the NFL covered up evidence. But let's watch this clip here. And you're going to hear Jim Jordan go at it with Roger Goodell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner, you believe in the First Amendment, don't you?
I do.
I mean, all parts of it, all rights we have. Your right to practice your faith, your right to petition the government, right to assemble, freedom of press, freedom of speech. You believe in all that.
Yes, Congressman.
Why do you ban Dave Portnoy from NFL games?
Pardon me, I couldn't hear your question.
Why
He heard the question. He just didn't want to answer it. He heard the question.
do you ban Dave Portnoy from NFL games? He's a journalist. In fact, he's a sports journalist. Why is he banned?
Congressman, I'm not familiar with that issue. I'm happy to check with my staff, but I'm not aware of that. Yes.
Well, I think we're all aware of that. We're all aware of that. I mean, he interviewed interviewed the President of the United States, interviewed President Trump in the White House. It seems to me if you can get into the White House, you should be able to get into a football game, particularly as a member of the press and a member of the sports press. You don't know anything about that?
I don't, sir.
Do you agree with the Washington Redskins' decision to fine Jack Del Rio $100,000?
That was the decision that was made by Coach Rivera. Again, as I stated earlier, they are responsible for monitoring and managing their own workplace. He made that decision on his own. I did not speak to him. I have great respect for Coach Rivera. He made this decision for reasons I'm sure that he thought were important.
I appreciate all that, Commissioner, but that's not what I asked you. I said, do you agree with the Washington Redskins' decision to fine Jack Del Rio?
You notice he's calling them the Redskins on purpose because they will always be the Redskins, but I digress.
$100,000.
I don't think it's my position to be able to say whether it was the correct decision or not.
Well, Coach Rivera, in his statement when he fined his assistant coach $100,000, he said Del Rio, quote, does have the right to voice his opinion as a citizen of the United States, and it is most certainly his constitutional right to do so. I don't know if that's actually accurate anymore, because if you do voice that, you end up getting fined and have to write a check for $100,000. Does that concern you?
I, again, have great respect for Coach Rivera. I presume that he had reasons for doing what he did, and I'm sure he took a lot of factors into consideration there.
Okay. That's Roger Goodell speaking right there. Boy, he didn't have much to say about anything. But you know what, guys? It's kind of interesting, guys, that he acts like he doesn't know anything about the Dave Portnoy ban. He doesn't know. I'm not buying that for 1 second whatsoever. He absolutely knows about that. Now, he refuses to speak about Jack Del Rio getting fined for just expressing his own American free speech. Seems like Roger Goodell is perfectly okay with Jack Del Rio getting fined. So it's also interesting, guys, that this is the same man, by the way, folks, that actually came out during the whole George Floyd riots and everything. He brought up Colin Kaepernick. He said, we were wrong. We were actually wrong on this whole Colin Kaepernick thing. And Colin Kaepernick is nothing more than a fraud. And this is the kind of simp that Roger Goodell is. He's out there now shilling for Colin Kaepernick, a man that actually really kind of brought the league down. The ratings went down when Colin Kaepernick started kneeling for the national anthem. But all of a sudden now, Roger Goodell has nothing to say. So I'm interested to see what's actually going to happen when the Deshaun Watson ruling comes down. Will you actually have something to say then, Roger Goodell? Even though the initial punishment isn't going to come from Goodell, but it's going to be interesting to see what he actually has to say about that. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.